Hi everyone, welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm joined by Terry and of course James from the Babbling Blues. And we're going to be talking about Everton's game away at West Bromwich Albion on Thursday. Terry, this game is really, really important now. First to play, I think, on the match day, if not like one of the early ones. So we can really set the tempo here with 3 points. On 43 now. Win here moves us up into the top four. Basically, just how important is this?
I mean, it's big for the table because you would be in fourth while the other teams are playing. And it would be big for the club because it'd just be, as I said in the previous segments, getting momentum snowballing going into the crunch time at the end of the season, because that'll have an effect when we go into the cup game as well. And, it'll really set the tone as to where we could finish the season. So it's also very important to me because I've been looking forward to the time where Everton would play against Big Scam once again. The absolute
Do you know what, Terry?
slug of a man
who
considers himself a massive... No, don't let me go. Let the horses run.
Do you know? Yeah, go on. Keep going.
Where was I? Oh yeah, that's right. Big slug of a man who considers himself a master of defence alongside Diego Simeone, and claims that Everton were in the relegation places when he came in, even though we were 13th, and classed a game against that David Unsworth was manager for as one of his wins because he was in the stand. I was in the stand on that game, so technically I won for all.
So was I. I think if anyone can take credit for winning us that game, it's Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, and always whenever he gets a result, it's his tactics, and whenever he gets battered, the players didn't carry out his tactics. And texting Jake Humphries when we were losing to Man United this season, saying the defending is the worst he's seen in years in the Premier League, and then he comes back into the Premier League and gets battered 5-0 and 4-0 regularly. And what else? Oh yeah, the 11 out of 10 on the survey judges himself to have done a job. I will go missing if we don't beat this absolute charlatan at the week on Thursday. You won't hear from me ever again if he beats us, because I can't stand the fella.
Yeah. Before Terry began to vent, I was planning to ask about him, and I thought, you know what, we might run out of time if I start talking about Allardyce, because we could talk for ages about that season and this man in particular. Since he's come in, West Brom have not got any better than they have since Bilic. They're sat there in 19th. I think they're on 17 points. And you mentioned about how they've got Newcastle, at the weekend as well, Terry. But James, West Brom have really not been very good this season. They look like they're going to go back down. But what have you made of them? And do you think that makes it harder? Because I've seen a tweet from Owen, who's a regular on the channel, and he was saying Big Sam will have 11 men behind the ball, just trying to get a 0-0 out or something. So would it be easier if we were playing a team that sort of just came at us? I know you've got to play every team at some point, but do you expect this one to be hard, or because it's strange for the team in 19th, you'd expect it to be a bit easier than another team, but are we the best at breaking down a West Brom team like that?
There's always going to be like a little caveat, isn't there, for each game? Like I remember Sheffield United, we had about 10 fit players that night, and we went to there and it was a real slugfest, and there's Boxing Day and just everything. So I think no matter who you play, you can always seem a lot tougher than it needs to be. But yeah, as Terry said, we just got to win that game because they are pony. I don't care that if you get beat, I won't look a mug there because they are, and they can win a game of football and still be crap. But Yeah, I remember when they played at Anfield, and obviously it was dead funny. They got a point there, and that was all fun and games. I remember the warm up; they were warming up in the back four or back five, just pacing back and forth, because that's all he seems to know. But yeah, he winds me up to no end. So we just have to go there, get an early goal, and then taste their medicine. I think just sit back and then see if we can get another. So yeah, it's got to be another win. I don't care how we do it, but yeah, if we drop points to him, I'll be furious, and he'll be loving it as well, because if it's a bit of a lose though, if we win, it'll be the scheduling and all this nonsense he's come off today already, getting that excuse in, and then if they get something from us, then it'll be, oh, we shouldn't have sacked him, all this crap. So yeah, he's just an absolute nightmare, man.
I'm glad that you've said all that, Terry, because there's a couple of people who, for some reason, see fit to defend him. The man is just, it's just, when I think back on my time as an Evertonian, they were some of the darkest days. I've never missed so many Everton matches. I've been a season ticket holder for years. I've never missed so many home matches as I did when he was the manager. Just him sat there with his big raincoat on and his cup of coffee, and Sammy Lee stood behind him. It's just horrible memories. So yeah, this is, Terry, if we're going to pick a game to win, 4 or 5-0, I'd love to rub it in his face, because his comments are just absolutely out of this world in terms of how silly he is.
His press conferences had more excitement and action in them than his matches did. Yeah, could go on forever, standing on the touchline, licking the snot off his lip in the middle of February away at Stoke. And honestly, why aren't you playing Ademola Lookman? Well, I've got Yannick Bolasie, who cost 30 million, and Theo Walcott, who cost 25 million. It's, oh yeah, Sam, that's how it works, mate. Yeah, the more you cost, the better you are. This game, it's just a touch on the game, just for the two West Brom fans who are watching.
We'll interrupt the Sam Allardyce preview to talk about the game on Thursday for a moment.
Yeah, sorry West Brom fans, because I like West Brom as a club, got loads of time for them, but I haven't for Sam Allardyce.
Yeah,
at least
same, mate.
You know, if we can't beat him, then there's nothing down for us. Because and you know, at least if he does get beat, we batter them or we beat them or whatever. He won't be able to get off to Benidorm like he did after we lost a few important, because his beloved Brexit happened and put the bullet in that, didn't it? So sorry, Sam. Honestly though, but I try to give every club and every team their due. Like, you can't just pretend you're going to walk into matches and roll teams over in this league. But they are undies. They're terrible. We should be beating them anyway. And he's basically crying in already, saying he's got to rotate his team. So he's practically writing this game off to play Newcastle. But they will play a certain way that won't suit Everton. Everton don't want to have all the ball, but West Brom are going to make sure they do. And that's where we make our own mistakes. We give it away in key areas when we've got too much of the ball, trying to engineer something. So I'm just hoping that the likes of James are playing, who are very careful with the ball and can, make the difference in the game, because honestly, I won't be able to live with myself if we don't beat that slug.
Yeah, it's one that I'd love to go there and batter them. And I hope we wear that lovely yellow away kit. Just doesn't really have any meaning, to be honest, but it's seen it on the poster on Sky, and I really hope we wear it. James, that as Terry was saying, it's James playing as well. What sort of team should we go for? Because there's the likes of James and Davis who missed out last night against Southampton. What sort of team do you want to see? Because I definitely want to see James here, because if anyone's going to unlock them, it's going to be someone like him, isn't it? With hopefully Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin up front in the diamond.
Yeah, I said James has got to play in this game in terms of the creativity, because even though, Lee Peltier's been getting minutes in the Premier League, I can't believe it. That Townsend fella got a fullback as well, and then the Kyle Bartleys of this world, just bang average footballers who I think West Brom came up too quickly for some parts as well, because I just think players like that are just good enough. And again, same as you boys, I've got no problem with West Brom, and it's more just Allardyce. But yeah, we need to have the creativity on. We want to try and break them down, because they're only going one way. We know they're only going to play one way. They're not capable of playing any other way, mostly down to him. But yeah, I did say to my dad though last night, if one team is going to have a tactic for just kicking James all game, it's going to be Sam Allardyce's team. And if one player is going to be doing it, it's Jake Livermore. And if he plays, I can see him going through James 3 or 4 times before he is inevitably booked. But yeah, I think we need a lot of creativity on the pitch. James, maybe even an Iwobi. I'm absolutely desperate to see a midfield free of Decore, Davis and Allan, and we haven't once seen it yet. So I'd love to think that will happen, but again, I think he could rest Allan, maybe even Decore, because Allan's not played a lot, and Decore is on the other end of the spectrum. He's played absolutely loads, so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, as long as we've got James on the pitch, I think we've got our best solution for breaking down sort of 11 men behind the ball really, and then the likes of Michael Keane are going to need a big game against that Diagne fella they got up front, because he looked like a bit of a handful. Classic mid-season Sam Allardyce signing him. So yeah, it's going to be a big game for us, and we just need to make sure we go and win.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. That's it goes without saying, because teams like that who are going to sit back, we do struggle against them. But the away form, we can't talk about the away form. I think this is 9 away wins. If we beat West Brom on Thursday,
if we win, it's the most away wins at this stage of our season ever. I think.
Really?
I should have mentioned that. Yeah, I think the Liverpool one made it equal with 84, 85, and then I think we drew against someone in the next game. So if we win, I think it's the best record by this stage of season we've ever had. So.
Oh my word! Unbelievable away form this season, Terry. Because you've got faith now that Everton can go away and beat anyone on their own patch, even going away to like Arsenal and Chelsea, which we've still got to do, gives you a bit more confidence going to these away games when Everton haven't done very well in them. And even the games that have come previously, like Leicester away, Leeds away, I didn't have really any confidence for us beating Leeds, because I just thought these are jammy. I can't see it based on Everton's history of going away to teams like this in night games, and we beat them 2-1. So that's important, isn't it? It's good to get another win here, not just to beat Allardyce and not just to move up into 4th, but to really show that we're a good side away from home this season.
Yeah, I mean it's that behind closed doors football, hasn't it? It's changed the game. It's taken away the effect, obviously, of supporters on the game. So it's all now down to the tactical nous and setup of the manager. There's no, sort of peripheral, sort of other factor, and not many have got a better manager than us. It's simple as that. The better managers win away from home, because it requires a lot more, a lot more setup, a lot more, coaching, a lot more everything that on the manager's side of things, because there's no equalizer anymore. So you look at our form this season, and that, it bears that out. Like Carlo's probably won more away games than the previous 3 managers combined have, because he's just a better manager than them. And when the fans come back, okay, I don't expect to win 9 away games by this time of the season every year, but I think we'll win more than we did previously, and it won't become, the away game problem anymore. I think he'll have moved us on from that, because the players, they get used to things, and they get used to winning away from home. Winning breeds winning. So again, against home, it's nice to set new, good records, isn't it? Get rid of the bad ones and set new good ones. This is another one I want to set. One of the best ever away. It's better than 84, 85. It'll go some way to being the best away records of any season ever by the end of it.
Yeah, definitely. It's so good to
see.
As
well, I think if we do win, I think it's the most. I was just going to say, I think it's if we do win, I think it's he will now overtake Silva, Allardyce and Koeman combined for away wins in the league. Amazing. I'm pretty sure. I think he's level at the minute. So yeah,
it's amazing stats. it's crazy to think we entertain those three managers at the club. For a club whose motto is nothing but the best is good enough, we certainly haven't lived up to it until now. Because we spoke about it already, but we were entertaining some absolute dross in the dugout, weren't we? And it's good to see that Carlo's come in and there is a genuine difference, and you genuinely can see the change, and no one has the right to question this manager now. Everything Carlo Ancelotti does for me is bulletproof because I trust him. I have full faith in him, and now I'm pretty confident going into Thursday's game. I don't know about you two, but I'd say we've got every reason we can beat them, and we can beat them convincingly. And if we hopefully get an early goal like we did last night against Southampton, no reason we can't. Terry, I want to get your who you'd like to see, because James mentioned Iwobi there. Iwobi's been brilliant, I think, coming off the bench in the last couple of games, even if it's only been for the last couple of minutes to see the game out. I would like to see Iwobi, and I think he could hurt this West Brom team for me. I think he's a good player to play against them because he seems to have gained a bit of pace, and his footwork's been a lot better. So any players in particular you'd like to see come into the side?
There's two things that I've learned about Carlo is you don't know what his team lineup's going to be because it changes constantly, and you can't trust him when it comes to injury news. So I don't know. It's the worst question to ask me. I want to see James come in, but James could not be fit. But he's saying that he will be back for this game. He always does it. But Iwobi, he's good travelling with the ball. He's one of the best. We've got a lot of good footballers for delivery of ball and for like Sigurdsson and the passing of Andre Gomez and so on, but not many players carry the ball very well in the team. Richarlison's one, Dean's one. I don't even think Calvert-Lewin's particularly good when he's running with the ball at his feet. That's not his game. He likes to finish and win the ball and move it on. So Iwobi sticks out a mile because he's got that little bit of flair in his boots, and I wouldn't be upset to see Iwobi. I wouldn't be upset to see any player start apart from Delph. It's the only red line I've got.
Yeah.
Everyone else in Carlo we trust, but if he ever starts Delph, I'll question him.
Yeah, and we'll leave it there, guys. Just quickly, want to get your score predictions for Thursday. James, start with you first, mate. Score prediction.
I'll go 2-0 to us. Yeah, 2-0.
Any goal scorers or anything like that you can see coming?
I think I could see a defender score, maybe like a Michael Keane or maybe it could be the game Ben Godfrey gets his first goal. I think we need to make use of set pieces because they're going to be found us all over the gaff. So I think we're going to have a lot of opportunities to put the ball into the mixer. And I'll go Michael Keane, and I'll say Richarlison to keep his rich vein of form going.
I agree with that 2-0. And I can see Luca Dean scoring because I think after we mentioned it in the Southampton extra time, Terry, but Gylfi Sigurdsson's free kicks are absolutely dire, and I'm wondering now maybe they're going to let Luca Dean take one, when it's just outside the box, and I can see Luca Dean maybe getting a free kick goal for some reason, and hopefully Richarlison as well. Terry, you got any score predictions?
5-0.
5-0, that's it. And
I mean it. 5-0. The shite. He's shite. And if we don't beat them 5-0, I'll be upset.
Let's bring Cenk Tosun and Theo Walcott back up from on loan and get him to Bury. get them both to Bury Big Sam, and it'll be a 5-0 win. But anyway, if you have enjoyed it, make sure you leave all your likes. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Get your score predictions down below in the comments section. Hopefully it's a win for Everton on Thursday night to take us into the top 4. Check out James if you haven't already. The Babbling Blues on Spotify and all your other good podcast providers. It's definitely worth a listen. And also go check out the Toffee Blues podcast over on Spotify. So that's a good one, and you'll be able to hear Terry's Quizmaster voice as well, as we do a quiz on there in all of the episodes. So go check out that one. All that sort of good stuff. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.